Have you ever wanted to make a Rube Goldberg machine but lacked like 10,000 Legos and all the random doodads and whimsical pieces that you would need to actually make one in real life?
Plus, the entire team of people to set things up when you make one tiny mistake and ruin everything.
Oh man, could you just imagine like accidentally knocking over like 600 dominoes?
Oh my goodness. I remember my favorite one of these ever was I want to say it was a Honda commercial where they took the entire car apart.
Really?
Oh, whole thing. I guess they had taken, I want to say 3 cars and hand-built them, and they took one of the hand-built cars and took it apart for this commercial. And it has every single piece of the car put together into a giant Rube Goldberg machine.
They made a Rube Goldberg machine out of what, assembling the car?
No. Out of all the pieces of the car.
Oh, well that's weird.
Oh, it's super neat. Super neat. And it was all done in one single shot.
That's pretty impressive. I imagine that must have taken days.
Oh man, they had an entire team. What about all of the OK Go videos that always seem to be Rube Goldbergian?
I do really like those. Those are actually really cool.
Rube Goldberg machines are one of those things that are super neat, but I would never want to actually build it.
Yeah, you're totally right, because even in this Rube Goldberg machine, I found that it was pretty hard to put anything together. You have claws. You have claws instead of hands.
Claws.
Little clippies, and I liked that. I was like, hee, I pinch. So yeah, I just got some fun ideas for Rube Goldberg machines that you can make in this game, and it would be fun to do so, but it's also really hard. Like, I can see the amount of time they spent building this Rube Goldberg machine, and holy crap, it must have been a while.
It is really neat looking, though.
It is super neat, but at the same time, oh man. Like, whoa, buddy.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, right? It broke. It didn't work.
So on YouTube, there are these insanely complex dominoes, right? And you see them building these things with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dominoes, and they're building flags and like they fall apart and create castles and it's so neat looking. And one of the coolest things I've ever found is they build these giant circles and it hits the bottom and it starts this cascade effect all the way around. It's really neat looking. So I would definitely have fun with this, but I also have zero patience for it.
Yeah, it's definitely something that you're going to be sitting there for probably a good 2 hours inside VR putting together one of these Rube Goldberg machines. And if you've got the patience for that, this is something you're into, then absolutely knock yourself out, man. Get on it. But for me, that's a little bit too much of an investment, you know? Mm-hmm. I hope nobody could fault me for that.
I do.
Why would you fault me for that?
I feel like I should fault you for everything, but maybe that's just me.
I feel like you often fault me for things that are your own fault, as a matter of fact.
They're always yours. So did you have fun with it? Because it looks like you enjoyed the tinkering, but you didn't actually build anything.
I tried to make a little mini Rube Goldberg machine, and I found that it's much harder than it seems, you know? So I did build a little teeny one, but I don't think it ever actually worked properly, and then I just started throwing stuff around the room, and that was much more enjoyable. Mm-hmm. But you know what? That's better than some. I've seen a lot of people that just play with the one that was already pre-assembled, which probably would have been better. I think I probably should have done that.
This needs a snap.
It absolutely needs a snap. It needs some kind of guide system, like a 3D or 4D or 2D grid to allow me to snap things, because the glue was just tough to use.
What I think would be really good for this is the system that you have in Roller Coaster Tycoon, where you can grab it and pull it in various directions.
I don't think I've played Roller Coaster Tycoon in the last, 10 years, so...
Other people who are actually gamers will know what I'm talking about.
Who's played that game in the last forever?
Plenty of people, actual gamers, will understand what I'm saying. Just because you don't goes to show how very, very bad of a gamer you actually are.
I'm an excellent gamer, sir.
I'm a fan of the fact that they have the pin to thing, but if you're going to give me the ability to do a Rube Goldberg machine, let me do an incredible, outrageous machine. I don't think it needs to touch and glue together. Give me a snap to, let me pull and make things outrageous. Realism for realism's sake in this particular case is a terrible idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially because you can, pin stuff to the bed. And eventually I started trying to, pin stuff with, metal bars and things like that. And you can absolutely do it. That's how you're supposed to do it. It's just very difficult. I think if I had some time to spend in here, I came up with an idea that I was going to do. You know, I was going to have like one of those really elaborate Rube Goldberg machines, and then it just like comes down and says like send nudes or something.
Oh, yeah, that would have been nice. Except you failed.
Well, I don't see you doing it.
That's because I've already done it. In real life.
I don't think that's actually the case.
That is not actually the case.
It was fun. It's really well put together, and it's free.
Free is always good.
So if you don't try it, I don't know why you wouldn't. That's simply silly. It's free. Who doesn't like that?
I don't like that.
What?
I don't like that.
That's really weird. It's a little disturbing. You know what I think might work better? Instead of having this case here snapped to either one of my hands, just have it that I can stick it somewhere in 3D space. That would make it better, so I can, know what I'm working with without having to attach one of my hands, because as soon as I open this model up, I can't do anything with the hand. And while it is actually pretty easy to open and close it, I don't know. I felt like I couldn't,
Would like to play this game. I would like to enjoy it more. I don't like the idea of glue. I think you need a snap to. I think you also need to allow me 100% to build into random space. Give me the option to build a truly outrageous Rube Goldbergian machine.
I will say that throwing stuff around the room was pretty satisfying.
I have an urge now to fill an entire bucket with those steel bearings.
With marbles?
And then throw them into the air and just watch.
That's actually a really fun sounding idea.
Doesn't that sound like a good time? Just get a whole bucket full of them and just...
I wonder if there's a limit to how many you can spawn.
I sure hope not. So there you go. That's Ruberg, or Ruberg, or Ruberg.
I think it's Ruberg.
I'm going to call it Ruberg.
Ruberg is probably what it is. This is in pre-alpha, by the way, so any suggestions you guys do make for the game, I really recommend you try it out. And tell the dev what he can do better. I'm sure he would love to know.
I mean, unless he's like the guy who made Fez. If you like it, like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. Don't forget to check out the Patreon. Don't forget to subscribe. And come visit us on Discord. And then, as always,
we'll see you on the next one.